What is up, you guys? Welcome to the collective. My name is Furman, and in this video we are going to be talking about what an insane month we've been having as far as announcements and releases. Well, we're not really going to be talking about the releases because you guys already know PlayStation has been dominating for some reason. They just went crazy, you know, Horizon, we got Gran Turismo coming out soon, Elden Ring just came out. I mean, Jesus. But before we get started, don't forget to like this video, do not forget to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. Alright guys, let's get into it. I got my trusty dusty phone here because I, for the life of me, cannot remember every single game that just got announced. So we're just gonna look this bad boy up and I'm just gonna be talking about it. Let's talk about that Nintendo Direct that we just had and how crazy that thing was. Oh my god! Wow! I mean, that thing was absolute fire. That had to be 10 out of 10. At least for me, 10 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. 9.8 out of 10, if I may. Let's continue. Alright guys, so they started us off with Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. I'm not really crazy about Fire Emblem, so we're just gonna kind of skip that one.
You what?
Well, I'm not really crazy about the Warriors type games. I haven't been crazy about a Warriors type game since, what is it, the Calamity? Okay, the Calamity of Zelda, that one did look really good, but you know, the Dynasty Warriors Gundam, those were primo. Now, they rehashed Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. That game looks really cool. I didn't actually get to play those in the Game Boy Advance or the DS ones, I believe. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play those, but this game looks really cool. I'm not really too crazy about the art style, and from what I've heard, a lot of people have been complaining about the fact that it looks like really cartoony. A little overly cartoony, if I might add, but you know, I'm pretty sure the game is going to be solid, so definitely we'll be picking this one up day one, hopefully. They said No Man's Sky is coming to the Nintendo Switch, which I'm just like, whoopee! Moving on. Now this one was definitely a big hitter, if I may. Mario Strikers. They are bringing Mario Strikers back, and they are bringing it to the Nintendo Switch with a new game. Not a remake, not a port, a new game. Now this one looks really, really good, just like the old one did too, so I'm really excited about this one, mostly because I didn't even play the GameCube one, but that's beside the point, okay? But yeah, I'm really excited about this game because it looks amazing and because of how big of an impact it had on people. Like, I always hear people talking about the Strikers games. So yeah, and then we had some more talk about Splatoon 3, which that game already looks amazing. There's not really much there is to say about it. I mean, it's just a really cool looking game, and they're gonna make it better, so it's gonna be awesome. We already know this. Now another game that looks really cool is Front Mission First, and that's a remake. That game looks really cool. I'm not really super into like mechs and stuff like that, so I don't know too much about it, but I know that game is going to be really awesome, and I'll probably be picking this one up. Now here's where it got a little bit weird. They talked about Star Wars The Force Unleashed being released on the Switch, and Assassin's Creed The Ezio Collection coming to the Switch also. Old games that I'm just kind of like, why? I mean, the Star Wars game, that one's a really cool one, but man, does it look like a PS3 game if there was ever any. I don't know. We'll see when it gets here, but yeah, that's coming out. And then the Ezio Collection, I mean, I'm so over Assassin's Creed now that I just like could care less. I might be picking it up just because I do like, you know, Ezio Auditore Differenze. I do think he's a really cool character, and obviously, because he got a trilogy, I think everybody else liked him. But yeah, not really sure if I'm super hyped about that, but They also talked about some game called SD Gundam. I haven't heard that game. I haven't heard that name since like the 2000s. So yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty cool. But then they had to go and drop the bomb on us. About 3 or 4 months ago, I went out of my way to purchase this game because, you know, I always thought it was a really awesome game. And the first game of this series is a literal massive success. It's literally one of the best Super Nintendo games in the world ever made in history. So naturally, I had to pick up the sequel. Bam! And we're getting a remake. Or not so much a remake, more of a port. But like they ported Final Fantasy VIII. You know, they made it look a little bit better, and they added a bunch of cool features to make it so that it's easier to play the game. But man, I am so hyped for this game. I know this game is going to be amazing, and I am so looking forward to actually being able to beat this on my Nintendo Switch. And I know you guys are probably thinking, why don't you just play it on your PS1 that you got like right down there? Yes, I could, but you know, we gotta preserve this too. So like if I don't have to use these discs, then I prefer not to. Now they also talked about Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That game looks really cool, and yeah, that game is what a lot of people have wanted for a really long time as far as Kirby goes. More of an open world feel to it. Everyone keeps saying it's like a Breath of the Wild-esque. But it's like, dude, Breath of the Wild is not the only game that you know, that has lush greeneries that lets you climb crap. Like, there's other games like that, you know. Just call it an open world. It's cool. Yeah, so there's that. Now, there is one game that I definitely never expected to get a port, much less more of a remake, and it is Klonoa 1 and 2. First of all, I didn't even know there was a second one. And second of all, the only time I ever played this game was when I had the PlayStation Magazine demo. And I was like, oh man, this is like a really cool game. But it was like real kiddish, so I was never really super into it. Mostly because they had Metal Gear Solid on that demo too, and I just annihilated that. Like, I played that so many times, but I digress. I think this is going to be a really cool port, and I'm looking forward to play that. As far as other ports coming out, they are releasing Portal and Portal 2. Never really played them too much. I did play Portal 2 a little bit, and I had a lot of fun with it. But those are really good games, and I'm really glad that they're coming to the Switch. So this is amazing. And then they had to kill us with another JRPG, dog. Because you know that's what we about. They are releasing Live Alive. I've never heard of that game before up until just now, but apparently it's a cult classic in Japan, and from the looks of it, it looks amazing. I mean, this game just looks, this is like right up my alley, you know what I mean? Like, it's got some really stunning 2D visuals, kind of like Octopath, which I love Octopath. I mean, I put almost like 100 hours into that game from how awesome it is. So yes, I am definitely picking that up. You already know it. Now, out of all the games I would have thought would have got a remake or some type of a part 2, I would have never expected Wii Sports to be the one. But boy, am I so glad that they're coming out with this game, because Wii Sports was awesome. But it's not Wii Sports anymore because we're not playing in the Wii. We're playing in a Nintendo Switch. So they had to call it Nintendo Switch Sports. Very original, right? But yeah. There's not much that needs to be said about that game. I mean, it's sports, it's going to be a lot of fun, it's going to be family craziness, and the fact that you can play online just makes it way better. So, it's just going to be a blast. And they talked about Triangle Strategy, which obviously that game looks really cool, and I'm not really too into that type of strategy game, but I'm going to definitely give it a try. The only thing that's making me mad is they are not looking like they're going to be releasing the collector's edition to the US, so that just makes me not happy, but we will persevere. So when they announced Metroid Dread getting some DLC, I was absolutely hyped. I didn't know what it could be. but it's definitely not what I expected, and yeah, I'm not feeling it. I mean, all it's doing is just adding difficulties. They got the new rookie mode, which, like, I mean, I could have used that when the game came out, and then they got the dread mode, which is cool, but I mean, hard mode is already hard enough, and I'm never gonna play hard mode, so gross. And then they have a boss rush mode, which, I mean, that sounds really cool, but that's not really my cup of tea. Now, if they do come out with some DLC, because they didn't say this is the last DLC. They didn't say this is the only DLC we're getting.
You what?
We're getting. They didn't say this is the only DLC that we're getting. So if they do come out with some more, I'd like to see maybe, you know, an addition to the game. Maybe a new sector or something like that. A new world. That would be really cool. Add more lore to the game. Because this game is perfect. So yeah, and then right when they had me, I mean, I was already sold on this direct. They announced that Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings, the game I probably will not play because it looks gross, is coming to the Nintendo Switch. And not just it's coming, but it came. It was a stealth drop. Because you guys know we love stealth drops here. So it was a stealth drop. That was awesome. And then after that, you know that game that we have been loving for the longest time since the Wii U, Mario Kart 8? Well, you know, we don't need Mario Kart 9, right? We don't really want that. Or at least that's what Nintendo was thinking. They decided that they were not just going to give us more DLC for Mario Kart 8, but they were going to give us a ridiculous amount of DLC, which is insane. Now, I am definitely on the boat when it comes to wanting Mario Kart 9 because, you know, I mean, it's been long enough. Mario Kart 8 is amazing, but it's been long enough. But man, I'm excited for this new DLC. I mean, it's like, what is it, 48 tracks or 52 tracks that are coming within the next, like, year? I mean, that is insane. Insane. The only thing that I don't get is I don't understand how that would translate as far as, you know, like, what if they decide to drop Mario Kart 9 in a year or two? Does that push it out more? Because it doesn't make sense for you to, like, you know, drop all this stuff on Mario Kart 8 and then right after, you know, hey, Mario Kart 9, you guys can do away with that game. We don't need that no more. I don't know. I'm confused, but yeah. We'll see what happens. And then they hit us with the nail on the coffin. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now, I know some people might not be too big of fans of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Beat 'em ups. But we're gonna get past that. And you know what? I'm not as big a fan of Chronicles 2 as I am of Xenoblade Chronicles. Because Xenoblade Chronicles is definitely, you could say it's like the perfect game. And now that it's on the Switch, it fixed a lot of the issues that it had, which is the fact that the game was kind of sort of butt ugly. So yeah, now Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is kind of hard to play because of the fact that the battle style is just like really slow. Like they slowed it down, I think, to make it more epic, which is cool, but I don't know, it's a little too slow. It looks like it's like running at 20 frames per second, and ugh. And then, you know, I absolutely hated the English dub for Chronicles 2, so I switched it to Japanese, but the dialogue is not like text, so you can't see what the heck they're saying during battle. Only during the cutscenes, which just makes no sense because they're constantly talking while they're fighting and while they're walking around. So you don't know what the heck they're saying. Really dumb. But yeah, definitely looks like I need to beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and yeah, I am definitely hoping that they release a collector's edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 to the US too, not just to, you know, to Europe and Japan, you know, all the Asian countries or whatever. That ain't cool, man. Stop doing that. You hear me? Nintendo, stop doing that. That's not okay. It's not. But, yeah. So, we have had a lot of really cool stuff come out as far as Nintendo goes. And then out of nowhere, Capcom is just like, hey, guess what? Street Fighter 6. Now, I don't really know how I feel about Street Fighter 6 because, I don't know, man. Ryu, he just looks weird now. Like, he looks like Doom Guy. Like, his neck and his chin is like so like squared up and chiseled. He doesn't even look Asian anymore, which is like really weird because he is Asian. But I digress. I'm sure the game is going to be awesome. The graphics look insane in that teaser. I mean, you know, the part where the person they're saying is Alex, he just flexed his arm and, you know, his little veins popped up on it, and it was just like, woo, like, damn, this game is going to be crazy. This game is definitely going to be crazy. So I'm super hyped about that. And, you know, they also hit us with a slight little curveball when they announced the 35th anniversary Capcom Fighters Collection. I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me. But that game is like super cool. I mean, it's got like, what is it, Hyper Street Fighter 2. It's got all the Darkstalker games. It's got Puzzle Fighter, Gem Fighters. It's got Red Earth, which, you know, I found out about that game through J.M. Crofts last year. And I was like, yo, this game looks freaking awesome. Like, how can you get it? And then I was like, oh, yeah. So, you can't buy that game because it's apparently arcade only. Or I think PC only too. So unfortunate, but they are bringing it to this collection. Sick. Sick. But one thing that confused me is the fact that there was no mention of Marvel vs. Capcom at all. And you know, people made a huge deal. Like, there was this big uprising of bringing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 to the newer consoles. So if I had to guess, you know, this is me putting on my speculation hat here. If I had to guess, I'm thinking, or I'm at least hoping, that they're going to come out with a definitive Marvel vs. Capcom collection where, you know, they don't just bring Marvel vs. Capcom 1, 2, and 3, and, you know, we don't talk about Infinite because ill, and hopefully they don't put that on there because yuck. But, you know, all of those 3 games, and on top of that, you know, bring out more of the obscure games. A lot of the games that people don't know, like Marvel Superheroes. There's like different versions of those games that, you know, only got released in Japan that we don't even know of, or at least that normies don't know of. Because, you know, if you're in the fighting community, you know about these things. So, like, I'd like to see them, you know, come out with a collection like that too. That would be really awesome, because we have definitely been wanting to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, at least. But, yeah, guys. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching the video. And as always, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to share this video, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. We will see you guys on the next video. Peace.